Hello everyone, this is typically Cavalier here, and as you can see, I'm going to talk about another video in the same playlist called as G2E. I named this series G2E because I wanted to talk about the gaming aspects that are made into some other form of entertainment, like a movie or a TV show or even comic books. So last week I talked about Netflix making a Witcher series, but today I'm going to talk about the top 7 things they need to nail down to make this show into an epic classical one. So I know it's tough for anyone to incorporate something fantasy or fictional from a gaming perspective into other forms of entertainment. We've seen that failing hundreds and thousands of times. It's easy for someone to take a book and then make it into a movie or a TV series, but if they try that with a game, it'll be failing. For example, Lord of the Rings is a good example. They it's a good book and a good movie as well, but when they tried to do it with Warcraft, it failed miserably. So why is that? I will talk about the why do's and don'ts in other videos, because this G2E series should be fresh, and the things that I want to talk about are already existing. The Assassin's Creed movie, Mass Effect comic books and stuff like that. But I will talk about them eventually. Next week or maybe this weekend, stuff like that. But today I want to keep the freshness going of this series, so I want to talk about the 7 things that the Netflix production should nail down to make this Witcher series competitive to Game of Thrones. So let's get into it, shall we? Roll the intro. Number 7 goes to my favorite topic that I want to see in the show. That is weapons, magic, and mutations. So the Witcher games are known for the different types of weapons, and they what Geralt wields in a different area, different locations for fighting different sort of enemies. That's a good aspect, and I want to see that incorporate into the show. They just don't stick with one sword. That's not gonna be nice. And as well as magic, Geralt is not just known for his weapons but also magic wielding skills. So potions, different sort of potions, I want to see that as well. But the main aspect is the mutations. Hands, no doubt, hands down, the mutations are the important part of the point. So there are different mutations in the game with only the which hunter can withstand. So Geralt takes different set of mutations to have different sense of abilities. So I think they need to make this important point. So I don't know if they will incorporate this, but if they do, the show is going to be great. Number 6. So number 6 is my favorite as well. This the aesthetics. What I mean by aesthetics is they shouldn't make the show to please people. Please different sort of people. Please kids. It's not going to be like that. The game is successful for all the true nature of the world. The which a world is dark, unpleasant, unjustful. So witch hunters are there to purify the world. So the show should also respect that. They shouldn't be since the the show should be watched by many people, so they shouldn't reduce the quality of the aesthetics that the game produces. So if they do that, then the show is going to be a failure. So I don't want to see them doing it. Number 5, sense of humor. What I mean is, not I'm not gonna asking the producers to make the show into a sitcom or anything, but if they make it too dark, too dense, it will be hard for people who haven't played the game to understand the show first in the first place. So, a little bit of banters, a little bit of funness will make will take the show into a great place. So I think that's good argument for writers to sit down and put some sense of humor into the script, just here and there, not the entire episode, just here and there to make people laugh just a little bit. Number 4. Number 4 is something that I want to see pretty much is because the abilities. There's a different sort of abilities. The main thing is like the witch sense, where you can sense the different location objects in the room or secret places and hidden monsters and stuff like that. So I want to see that mechanics come into the show. Many people don't take that aspect seriously, but it's an important part of the show, and that to be present in the show. It will bring authenticity to the show, which makes the show looks good, and which will make the game look good. That's the whole point of this. Number three would be justice to all the characters. What I mean by this is there are several characters in the show, and some people forget that everyone says like Witcher is action game, adventure game, but mainly it's an RPG, role playing game. So every decision you take, every characters that you meet will produce a different sort of outcome in the end. So I want to see people saying there is going to be a lot of new characters in the show. We are going to be introduced to new characters, and every new character should have been given a correct space of time in the show, and they should have given their own dialogues, which should also be powerful. And they shouldn't just be there as an NPC, standing there, moving around, stuff like that. They should be a part of the character, because as much as this is a witch hunter story, it's also a story about others as well. So they should, they should give justice to the characters. That's all my point. So number two, this is my favorite and my important point is do the monsters right. Why am I saying this? Because the Witcher series is known for the monster slaying. He's called the Witcher because of he's a monster slayer. So this aspect should be 100% incorporated into the show. If they don't do this perfectly, then their show is gonna fail. What I mean by this is they should have high production value first of all to pull off this one, because they need to do some CGI, serious CGI efforts. Or if they don't even have that kind of money, and if they don't do the CGI effort, at least I'm saying is bring in some people, put makeup on them, and then just make them act. There are several enemies that do that. So I don't want to see them, kind of skipping these parts, or skipping, not showing this sort of enemies, and then just moving on. That won't work out, because the show is built on these monsters, and people like fighting these monsters, or see the monster slayer slaying the monsters. So whatever aspect they do, they need to pull this off perfectly. And for our number one, it's all obvious. Let Geralt be Geralt. Okay, he's a monster slayer who was born, in a different and difficult circumstances, and he takes on the world with a violent sense. He's a violent guy. He kills monsters. He doesn't like to be spoken against. He's dark, but he also shows other sort of emotions. He's a good friend, he's a lover, and he's a good surrogate father. So in every aspect he's good. So if the show doesn't incorporate this, if the show doesn't take care of the main character, if they put some dumb guy as the cast, it won't be working out very well. And if they have like 10 episodes or 13 episodes, and they move the main character in just one emotion, like throughout the 13 episodes it will be like all anger, or all sad, or all happiness, whatever the emotion may be. If they do just that, it won't work out. So they need to bring in more emotion from the character, more emotion out of the show. And that's a good thing, because they are bringing in the writers, the developers from the game, to give them point and insights into the into their minds. So if they do that perfectly, I think it will work out. But if they don't do all this, all the seven correctly, the show won't work out. That's 100%. And I want this show to be a great success. I want this show to compete with Game of Thrones, which is the current best fantasy out there. So let's see, because as you know that no game has ever successfully been made into a movie, TV series, comic books, or ever like that. So I just want to see this happen perfectly. And this is the news I told you I'm going to talk about today. Maybe tomorrow or the next week I'll talk about some other game, or that made into a different sort of entertainment. So thank you guys for watching. This is a peculiar Cavalier here, and you've been an amazing audience. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button, share the video with your friends, and tell them about the channel. It's all for gaming. So ask them to come and join the channel. You also subscribe to the channel for everything that is gaming. So thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye. Let it go.